It is.
But what it receives from the realm determines its growth. Now, when a person is actually born again by the Spirit of God, how much they apply themselves to the Word of God is going to depend.
That's right.
And make a difference in how far they grow.
That's exactly right.
And some people go home from church, put their Bible on the coffee table,
right.
It stays there till next Sunday morning,
That's
so
right.
they'll know where it is.
That's right.
And that's sad.
That is.
And there's nothing wrong with the seed.
That's right. Remember.
It's just not being taken care of.
And there's some people that are motivated that may not be hearing life-changing revelation every Sunday morning, but they're able, because of their own discipline, to go through the Word, study, and whatever, and are still growing. So though my statement may be general, I don't really mean to be generalizing, like painting everybody with one brush. There's really, it's a little bit more complex than that. I'm just trying to get us out of here at 8 o'clock. But that's a good point, Dawson. That's absolutely true. Now,
you should learn more during the week from your own study than you're going to learn on Sunday morning.
I think it's possible.
Yes, I know it.
I think a good teacher, though, a pre-pastor teacher, will unveil things in your life that you may not have discovered on your own.
It might.
Good. Because I'm going to tell you, my week is a week of digging the field to find the treasure. Because what's most interesting, what my passion is that when you come here, you can find a pearl of great price. You can find a treasure. And so, man, that can revolutionize my life. That has the power to change my life. That one word right there has the power to change my life. That's what thrills me. Okay, look at verse 14. I am going to read the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 14. Let's look at a little bit more detail. Susan doesn't get here soon, and this storm may have kept her away. I may get one of you to try to make these copies so I can make sure you guys get them. Because these really are good notes. I think they're worth having. So let's look at verse 14 a little bit more detail real fast. He says, first of all, verse 14, chapter 14, book of Revelation, and I looked, and behold, a white cloud. Look at the word "I looked." Okay? And for Randy's parents, let me explain something. I always look at the tenses of these verbs. I know it's probably been a while since we were in high school, but verbs are important in the language of the Bible because they paint a picture of time and action. It teaches us kind of how the actions happen as we're watching this kind of unfold before us. What's interesting is, as you've heard me say now hundreds of times, that this word, "I looked," is in the completed past tense. So what he saw on this cloud was not necessarily just arriving or something in this future, in the present or in the future. It was absolutely not in the future. But it wasn't just something in his present. It wasn't his present, but it was really established in his past. In other words, the one on the cloud had already been there. And he says, "And I looked, and behold." Look at the word "behold." See, that word might not mean a whole lot to you, except this word in the Greek is in the imperative, which means I'm not showing you this to give you the option to whether or not you want to view it or not. All right? What do we men have? We have in common is, this is definitely the rule at my house, the remote stays with me. Right? I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's fighting terms if somebody tries to take the remote. Or if I come home and I can't find it, it needs to be left where I left it. Why? Because I'm a flipper.
Oh, no.
I can't stand. Margie wants to watch a 2-hour movie. I watched 7 minutes of it, and I say, I know how this thing ends. Let's go to the next one. Really. Because everything on Lifetime is the same movie with different actors. All right? You learn, you know what is going to happen. So I'm thinking, I'm sitting here after 7 minutes, I am bored with this movie. I'm ready to move on to the next thing. And Margie's like, what are you doing? I'm thinking, well, you know what's going to happen. Because, you know, so I love to just keep it going. The problem with that is that there are times when in our relationship with God, we want to pick the remote and we want to change it to the next thing because the place where we are, we've lost interest there. And God says, hold on a second, I'm not finished with you yet. And so what happens is when he says, behold, he's telling you, it's the word experience. Come here and experience this. And I'm not asking you to do this. I'm telling you, stop what you're doing and come here. So anytime you see an imperative in the Greek language, that is an urgent demand for us to move in the direction of his voice. Well, what is the urgency? Behold this white cloud. Now, it doesn't say first, behold the person sitting on it. It's behold the white cloud, or a white cloud. So there's got to be something significant about a white cloud. So if I ask you, what do you think is significant about a white cloud? What would you say? Is there any more coffee left in there?
No, I'll turn some water in.
None. All right, let me ask you, because I'm not here to answer all your questions. What do you think is significant about a white cloud?
It's
Does it
elevated,
symbolize purity?
Could be, okay, purity.
elevated.
Elevation, all right, I like that.
You see different designs in the clouds. When
You see
look.
different, all right.
Sometimes you see faces, sometimes you see animals.
That's true, that's interesting.
You wouldn't happen to see any more coffee in the morning, would you?
Y'all want some more? We can make some in a few minutes, I think. You try to make some more?
No, get dry. You okay?
You know how?
No, but I'll try.
I know how.
I'll just sit down and
Sometimes,
leave it alone.
See, I think Jackson.
sometimes, probably not in this case, but clouds can be, like clouded vision. but-
Keep you from seeing
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
The thing was wrong with the white cloud, there's no water in it.
All right. A white cloud might not have water in it.
The shore are pretty.
Yeah,
All right,
that's pretty.
What else? There's some interesting thoughts there. White cloud. What? He said, behold a white cloud. All right, so I'm looking at this white cloud. Well, obviously, I'm not looking at a real white cloud because we're in a chapter of imagery.
But it's better than just looking at the blue sky, no clouds at all.
Okay, okay. I tell you the way I think about this. First of all, white, it speaks of purity. It also speaks of righteousness. The cloud and the people in the children of Israel represented the presence of God. I see that what holds this one is righteousness and presence, which is what draws me to him. His presence draws me to the reality. Righteousness is what I exchange for my unrighteousness. But we could take probably any of these suggestions and find significance in the white cloud. Now here's where this verse gets interesting, and I don't get a little bit out there, but look what it says about this white cloud, and it says, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man. Now, first of all, let me say this. I struggled with this phrase. This phrase, I probably spent 8 hours wrestling with this phrase. 8 hours, it might not seem a long time to you, but this is a long time to be struggling with a phrase. I struggled with it. I went to a rehearsal last night, and all yesterday afternoon, last night, I'm driving to this rehearsal, and I'm struggling with this phrase. And I'm in my car, I'm preaching it, I'm talking to the Lord out loud in my car, I'm in rehearsal, and my mind is on this phrase. I'm driving home.